Welcome back to Orange Hat Reviews, everybody. Pain cannot keep me away from my viewers. I have taken a little bit of acetaminophen, so I am primed and ready to go. So, welcome back to the Mystery Reviews. Episode 8 this time. The first two hints were a movie from Colin Farrell on the year that I graduated. Now that the stream has started, the year was 2003. That's the year I graduated. Sadly, I don't have my class ring with me. I don't even think that thing will fit on my pinky anymore. But yeah. So, yes, it was a movie from 2003, and I misquoted on purpose the second hint because I think it would have been too on the nose. Instead of goddamn space or robot aliens, it's the damn robot aliens. So if you haven't gotten those two, I will give you one extra hint. So, how many people are in here? We got one person in the chat. Hello. Thank you so much for joining. I believe it is probably going to be Mara Lurkin. So yes, we are going to be discussing SWAT. 2003 SWAT, not those shitty, weird attempts at prequels, I'll call them. I just didn't like them. And I saw both of them, and I am incredibly embarrassed that I did. But yeah, we're going to be discussing the original SWAT with great songs, great actors, great everything. Starring Colin Farrell, Samuel L. Jackson, LL Cool J, Michelle Rodriguez. Oh my God, even Jeremy Renner, who is actually not a good guy in this movie. Turns out he's a jackass in this movie. So yeah, imagine that. So to set the scene for you, basically it starts as if a real SWAT episode starts, or episode of Cops starts. I mean, there's a shootout at a bank. We got freaking automatic fire in LA County, and they're basically saying, we need SWAT. So they call in the SWAT team. And they're like, do not let them get mobile. You see one guy gets shot, and he's like, he's down. I mean, it's just, they show the effectiveness of the SWAT team. And then, well, you got Street and Gamble. Street played by Colin Farrell, Gamble played by Jeremy Renner. They go in, they fuck up. They were told to hold when they weren't, and it's like, we hold, they die. Guess we're not holding. And so, sorry about that. They disobey the hold, and, excuse me, I need to take care of something. Better. So they disobey the hold, they go in, and one of the idiot camera people gets an inline at the people in the bank, and the guy notices, he's like, I'm on TV! And, well, then they notice there's a SWAT guy. Jeremy Renner shoots through the hostage that this guy has, and they shoot down the rest of them. And it's like, dude, no, that's bad. That's real fucking bad. Now, the acting in this movie was very well done. It establishes great character building, and it establishes somewhat predictable character building in other characters. McCabe, I believe, is the one that I'm going to be discussing later. Let me just make sure. So I'm going to pull up the cast to SWAT. Okay, that's just weird. SWAT cast. the fuck is this shit? Shamar Moore wasn't in it? Christ. There we go. That's better. Oh my God, man. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, let me just get out of Twitter here. Anyway, thank you, Jay Chatham, for lurking. Always a pleasure to have you in the chat and listening. So happy I could bring some interesting stuff to your shopping day. But yes, so they take care of that situation. And, well, now that Gamble's screwed up, he's like, Jimbo, he going to be all right, or is she going to be all right? I'm not a doctor. It's like, why is this answer, dude? But you are in so much shit. But anyway, so they get there. Olivier Martinez. And Josh Charles, who plays TJ McCabe, he goes, or they're about to get chewed out, and he's like, I don't care what they say in there. You guys are heroes. And that's a good setup for his character later on. And so they bring him in, and they're like, we saved hostages, or we saved all those people. Yeah, or we saved a hostage. Yeah, and she's who's now suing the city for millions. And you both are off SWAT. So basically, it establishes that the guy who is in charge of the SWAT division is a real fucking asshole. And I believe Larry Poindexter. Frickin', he plays Fuller, Captain Thomas Fuller. Yeah, he's such a freaking asshole. And, oh wow, Brian Van Holt was in this movie. But yeah, they got a bunch of people in this movie that are great casting. Samuel L. Jackson, Olivier Martinez dude made a name for himself in the freaking early 2000s and whatnot. He was all over the place. He did some great movies. But yeah, so Renner Gamble, his entire acting in this sequence was actually pretty well done. And so when he's like, this is bullshit, he's like, what is that? This is bullshit. You're lucky to even have a job in this shit after what you just pulled. He's like, yeah, and I'm pretty much lucky that I got to work for a piece of shit like you and whatnot. So then he has to get out because he's about to start a fight with his captain. And so they're like, and they also get stuck in the gun cage because that's their punishment. The gun cage is basically, you're a gun bunny. You are managing the weapons for all SWAT individuals. For all individuals in SWAT, you got to clean them, you got to do all that, you got to freaking tune them, you got to do all of that stuff. Two specifications in certain situations, which will come later. So the main scene that establishes this movie is the aftermath of that, because they say if you freaking go on record and say that Gamble acted recklessly, you'll be back on SWAT tomorrow. Well, Colin Farrell does have a measure of integrity. He doesn't rat him out, but we don't know that at this point. We don't hear what he has to say. We don't hear his answer. But what we do see is the aftermath, the argument in the locker room, where they're like, let's go get drunk, brother, and whatnot. And he's like, no, I'm staying. And he's like, what? After what just happened in there, I'm staying. We do a little time in the gun cage, we'll be right back on SWAT. Gun cage. He's never gonna let us back on SWAT. He's like, well, yeah, directly, man. I saved a hostage. You disobeyed the hold. I saved a hostage. You disobeyed the hold. You made the decision yourself. And you shot a hostage. Jesus, man. Wow. You sound like Fuller. Is that what you guys were talking about in there? Did you rat me out? And he can't see past it. He's like, he just can't see past it. He's like, did I rat you out? Yeah, did you rat me out? I never knew how full of shit you were. Realize how full of shit you are. And He's like, you want to stay here, be Fuller's bitch? You go right ahead, but I can't do it. I can't do it. And Jeremy Renner and Colin Farrell's acting is very, you could tell, or with their acting skills, that these two characters have been together. They've been partners. They've gone through shit together, you know? And so when he finally, or after he tells him, it's like, you know, I never realized till today how full of shit you are. And then he goes up to him, fuck you and SWAT, and shatters him up against the freaking mirror, or shoves him up against the mirror where his head freaking hits it. It's like, holy shit, man. Sup, Warren? Good morning. What film are we discussing? We are discussing SWAT 2003. And it's the movie that is with Colin Farrell. That is in the year that I graduated high school, 2003, folks. I didn't want to make it too obvious. I said either 2002, 2003. I didn't want to make it too obvious because there was very few movies that Colin Farrell did. And plus the second hint was it's the damn robot aliens. Or the goddamn robot aliens is what I put. I intentionally misquoted it because it would have been too easy to find. I mean, all you needed to type in was robot aliens, you would have found it, because I don't think there was any other freaking movie that mentioned that. But yeah. An old underrated classic? You're damn right it is. It has some great moments. I mean, sure. I mean, it's a product of its time. And there's a couple of scenes that were not as good because, well, CGI and whatnot. I mean, they did have to put a CG plane and whatnot in that movie, but it's like, oh, damn. But they still did this movie is objectively at a 9. It's objectively at a 9 out of 10 because most of the time they did practical effects. They did freaking great score. They did freaking great actors, great writing. It was a compelling story. So then they dialed it up to 6 months later, and you see Colin Farrell running through the beach, singing the song "Shattered" and whatnot. And so he's just pounding on a punching bag, running through the beach. They're showing him doing his training routine. They also show him blowing chunks all over the beach too in one part of that scene, which is like, well, I don't understand why they're showing him blowing chunks all over the fucking scene, but damn, that's called commitment, I guess. But it was fun to it shows that sometimes to keep in shape, well, sometimes you're going to make yourself sick. I'm not saying that's a healthy way of keeping in shape, but it is a side effect sometimes of keeping a freaking chiseled body like he had. I mean, look, I got a freaking keg, man. I don't got a six-pack. I'm Blobfish. I'm off to work. Please have a great day, everyone. Thank you, Gabe. It's always good to see you. And hope all goes well at work. But yeah, he then comes back after work at the gun cage and whatnot, and he comes back to his girlfriend, which I believe was played by freaking what's her name? Show more, because I need to know who that chick was. No, it wasn't who I thought it was. I don't even think she's in there. Lydia Spencer was in it? Huh, didn't know that. Bridget the Midget. That is funny. Bridget Powers, yeah. But anyway, Boxer's sister, I believe, was played by Ashley Scott. Could have been, yeah. Or it could have been Lucinda Jenny. Anyway, his girlfriend is packing up, getting ready to freaking just leave him and not tell him shit that she's going. But yeah, wear a different color hat, damn it. I don't have a different color hat. Not with me at the moment. I mean, sorry. But anyway, so he comes in, catches her. She's like, God, well, when it was good, it was great, right? I mean, she's trying to give him a kiss. She's trying to get up in there to try to rekindle it. But she's leaving him. So he just gives her a kiss on the forehead and she just bounces. And it turns out that she is the sister of another freaking cop, Boxer, his character, played by, what's his name, Holt? Van Holt? Yeah, Brian Van Holt. And so then he's back in SWAT again, back in the gun cage, showing that he's still doing his damn work. And Fuller, his captain, spent 6 months, should have been back on SWAT, but he's still in the gun cage. So we get introduced to the legend of SWAT. Did you base your brand on the fact that you lost all your other color hats and all you had was orange, so you thought, fuck it, orange hat reviews? Close. I basically lived in a freaking hunting community, so orange is the safety color there in any hunting community. And I figured, no, it's the only hat in the store right now, so I bought it out of Stewart's, and I freaking just was looking around and like, during summer, and yeah, there it's like, fuck it, orange hat reviews. Yeah, that's how I did it, man. That's the story. Back to the SWAT story. Samuel L. Jackson, the legend of SWAT. Hondo. Not Onaka, but Hondo. Comes in, he's like, here, I need it clean, but please don't touch my sights. And it's like, you know what they say, Gus, you're either SWAT or you're not. If you're doing a discussion on underrated films like SWAT, you should do Stealth, an unmanned aircraft that went rogue on its own. Yes, I am aware of Stealth. That was actually a good movie. Bad CGI effects, bad green screen, but still a good movie. That's fair. I hope you know I'm just poking fun. Yes, I do, dude. I know. And no, you're not annoying in the least, man. I know you're just fucking around. But yeah, so he's like, and I made some modifications to the trigger too. And you are Jim Street. Right. So the old war horses of SWAT are being called in because there's been bad press for SWAT lately in recent events of 6 months before and consistently through. They need some of the old war horses to come back and train some of the newer recruits. So they called in Samuel L. Jackson's character and whatnot, and he's like, all right, well, Fuller's on my shit list. You also got Reggie K. Caffey, who played Greg Velasquez, and he is a great character, man. Even though you only see him in the background of the SWAT team, where he's always in the truck and whatnot, he's still a character that has weight because his acting is just that good. Please have a great day. I'm leaving early so I can go for a mile walk before I stand up on my feet for 3 hours. Need to drop more than 177 pounds. I've lost. Nice. But my legs are going to feel like hell. Yeah, dude. At least you didn't have the second COVID shot and felt like you got a beat down overnight. So there's that. But yeah, dude, have a good day. Stay healthy and whatnot, buddy. Peace. So he's like, how'd Fuller take it? Hasn't stopped swearing since. I absolutely love it. He gives no fucks in SWAT. You're damn right he doesn't, Price. So now he's assigned to pick out his team. He's got TJ McCabe, Boxer, and he's got to pick 3 others. So he has Colin Farrell freaking drive him around and whatnot. He's like, want to get out of the cage? He's like, sure. So he's going after some recruits. And one of these recruits has a glowing record. I believe it was Reed Diamond's character. I can't remember his name to save my life, but he has a glowing Dave. Yeah, Dave. Or David. Take care, everyone. We need to stream sometime, Orange. Definitely, man. I'll try to figure out some time. In the next few weeks, I am going to be, or it's going to be pretty chaotic because I got to prepare for a move. So I'll definitely work something out. But anyway, so he's at a hot dog stand with this guy, David, who has a glowing record and whatnot, and no complaints at all. And He's like, so then they order hot dogs, and Samuel L. Jackson and Colin Farrell get the meaty hot dogs, man. I will take a soy hot dog and yada, 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 yada. I'm a vegetarian. And that's like a red flag right there, man. It's like, oh my gosh. Vegetarians. I'll never understand them. But anyway, so he's like, you don't have a single complaint. Well, I try to be courteous and I try to follow the rules as best as I can. Well, thing is, David, right? Thing is, David, there comes a time in SWAT where you might not, or you might have to bend the rules a little bit. You understand? No. He fucking deadpans that no. It's like, no. I'm like, oh my God, seriously? Dude, how the you're like the fucking Terminator in that scene. That was one of the bad acting scenes. It's like, no. I'm like, oh my God. So then they conclude and they're waving to him. He's like, how the hell can I trust a man with my life if he won't eat a good old-fashioned American hot dog? And he's a vegetarian. So then they pass up on him, and they're going to look for the next one, which is freaking Deke's character, which is our LL Cool J. That's cool. I just now started making videos again after months off, so I'm getting back into the swing of things. Sorry to talk too much, damn ADHD. Hey, dude, I have ADHD too. That's why I actually do all this. I'll talk to you later. Gone for real now. It's all right. Take it easy, buddy. So I absolutely love the introduction to freaking LL Cool J's character. It's like he's talking to this woman. This woman's bitching at him in Spanish. He's like, just tell me where your husband is. Look, I don't speak Spanish. His partner's laughing at back at him, and the guy that they're chasing is beating it out. Exactly, dude. I mean, the street chase was so freaking great. They had great cinematography in a couple areas. They actually do a high-rise area to show freaking him trying to get through a goddamn parade and whatnot. It's like, oh my God. So he's like, so when they pull up and he's already chasing the dude in Lakers purple, he runs over their car, or he runs up the hood and over the car to chase after the dude. So then Street goes out to assist in the chase and pulls ahead of him and starts whipping his baton around to clear people out and whatnot, while freaking Deke is he's just struggling to get through the fucking parade. But it's Samuel L. Jackson who drives around and takes him down. And he's like, pow, just around the corner. He's like, this kid's like, whoa, that was some Oakland Raiders Jack Tatum shit. And it's like, oh, you know about Jack Tatum? Get the hell out of here. And I'm like, oh my God, dude. That kid is not old enough to remember Jack Tatum. Jack Tatum's a fucking legend before even my time. But yeah, it's like, holy shit. He's like, all right. So he's like, name's Hondo. I don't give a damn what your name is. I had him. He's like, so you still want to be on SWAT or SWAT? SWAT. Whoops. I don't mind, or if you're getting sick of this stuff, and you're in for low pay and yada yada and hard hours or in unstable hours, I got a slot on my SWAT team for you. I wouldn't mind that at all. Well, back to things. Going to SWAT school. SWAT school? Shut up! It's like, oh my God. That was just the beauty of a scene, man. It was a beauty of a scene. It showed that Deke does not freaking take shit. Not even from the people that he's freaking going to be a team with, you know? But he is one that also likes to follow the rules, too. Even though he is willing to get dirty, unlike David, who's like, no. I mean, that's just so fucking creepy, man. So then they go and they're looking for Chris Sanchez, the introduction to Michelle Rodriguez's character. She's beat, or you see a guy that is freaking Hector. I believe his name is Hector. I know his ass is in this freaking cast list. Dude plays Hector in freaking Fast and Furious. But yeah, he's a Latino guy that got his ass kicked. And it's like, Sanchez do, or you Sanchez's partner? Yep. Sanchez do that? Yep. Well, which one is she in? Room 3. Or which one is Sanchez in? Room 3. Okay. So they don't know that Sanchez is a woman. It's funny to see Samuel L. Jackson is like an action mentor to LL Cool J after he left rapping for acting. So seeing Cool J and Jackson interact is hilarious and awesome. Yeah. I mean, LL Cool J is a good actor. He is a great actor. He does a wonderful job in NCIS LA. And he did great jobs in other movies like Deep Blue Sea and a few others that I haven't seen in a while, such as Halloween H2O. Did a great job in that. He's trying to write a book and he's a freaking gatekeeper. But anyway, so they open the door, they see Chris Sanchez in her sports bra. Whoa, sorry, wrong room. Who are you looking for? Chris Sanchez? I'm Chris Sanchez. You're Sanchez? And it's like, oh, Jesus, here we go. So, obviously, she's pissed off because she's thinking these guys are being sexist. And it's like, she applied 3 times and was denied 3 times by Fuller. And it's like, well, there's probably a reason for that. Look at all these complaints. But they didn't say she. They thought it was a he. And got a lot of complaints in here. And he's like, or she basically explains it. I'm sick and tired of all these bullshit complaints because some vato can't handle being shoved to the ground by a woman. And believe me, folks, from somebody who has been in jail, there's a reason why people don't like being put down by a woman, especially if you have it done while you're in jail. If you get thrown down to the ground by a female and other inmates see it, you are the fucking laughing stock of the jail. You will never be respected. If a freaking female tosses your ass to the ground, you will never be respected in jail. That's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. It has nothing to do with sex, everything to do with sexism in jail. But that's just how the hierarchy works. So anyway, she's like, so he's like, so you still want to be on SWAT? So she checks out his stretch machine. Like, no, I just get tired of applying all the time. So they find her, and so they got their group. So that ends out the day, and he's like, I still got one slot left if you want to be on it. Fuller would never approve. You let me worry about that pencil pushing punk. I want you on my team, but he's like, I got a history here. Yeah, I heard about that. So tell me, did you sell out your partner? And that pisses off Colin Farrell's character. All of these direct interactions, these moments that are not action moments, they're well done. They establish character building. They establish how a character is and whatnot. And also, Samuel L. Jackson mentions in this film, or while he's reading his file, he's like, so you were a SEAL? He's like, yep. What'd you do for him? You know, my commanding officer always said, if anybody found out what we did, we failed. Fair enough. But anyway, they're talking. He's like, I disobeyed orders, but also no, I didn't sell him out. He also disobeyed orders. I don't sell out my freaking team. But also when he's going for McCade and Boxer, when he's doing the SWAT run training course, he's like, I got money saying that guy could kick your ass. He's like, why him? He's our gun buddy. And he's like, all right, let's make it 200. All right, more lap dances done. TJ McCabe is established as a freaking player. He likes to get with the women, loose women and whatnot. Or butts, bullets, and women, you know? That's the kind of guy that TJ McCabe is. And he plays it very well, so then that was basically the introduction to having Street be tested, you know? He's like, is this test, Sergeant? Yeah, it's a test. but also I want you on my team. And it's a great moment. So then he goes to Fuller with his choices. He's like, I'll give you TJ or McCabe and Boxer, but and this new guy, Deacon, but the other two, find somebody else. Sanchez is a woman, and, well, Street, he's on my shit list. Hey, I'm on your shit list. So I thought a SWAT leader could choose his team. You can. Just choose 2 new people. And he's like, this is the team I want. And you know what? If we fail, you can kick or you can get rid of me. He's like, okay. You know what? I'll give you Street and Sanchez. But if you fail, and believe me, and trust me, you will most likely fail. You're gone. You and Street, you're gone. Sanchez goes back to traffic. Deacon goes back to wherever, and you and Street, you're gone. He's like, all right, no, not off SWAT, off the force. You feel me? Yeah, I feel you. This basically establishes that Fuller, the captain, absolutely hates Hondo, and he also absolutely hates Colin Farrell's character, Street. These scenes where then there's the whole training montage. Freaking Boxer doesn't like the fact that Street's been chosen for the SWAT team and whatnot. Also, the fact that Boxer's sister just got dumped by Street. Sorry, froze there. But he's like, I didn't leave her. And believe me, she's not so little. It's like, dude, okay, that started shit. So then everything goes on. They do their freaking training montage, SWAT or sniper and whatnot. He's like, or they also introduced something while he was in the gun cage before he goes for a driver or to drive Samuel L. Jackson around, which actually is an establishing moment to establish something that he has he's designing, which is the Polish penetrator later on. He's like, you attach these things, shoot it through a wall, you pull up, tell your partner, gun the engine, you take the wall out and whatnot. So anyway, they do their whole training montage, which is pretty freaking funny in some areas and serious in other areas. You see how Sanchez is kicking the bag and whatnot, showing how she sometimes has to go off on her own to let off some steam. I mean, it's pretty good. It shows that they're fallible at first. And that is such a great thing because if you show that your characters are fallible, you can identify more with them. That is called character development. And they have Sanchez and Street going through a mock home and she didn't clear the corner. So it's like, pal, Sanchez, your partner's dead and whatnot. It's a great scene. They show all the different screw-ups. It's like, oh, nice one, Dig. Hey. Now, if I was deaf, you guys probably would have gotten in there. But while you're all fucking around, there's a lot of people that want to see us fail. Get it right. I mean, quite literally, his job is on the line while he's training them. And so, excuse me. Tell you this stuff has a kick. You can even taste some of the tangerine lime in that. Anyway, so they get ready. They're basically ready for the final test. After a while, they're doing they're playing poker with freaking sniper cards and whatnot. Absolutely love that. That was a great scene. He's like, Honda, or he's like, hey, flush or straight flush. And you're like, or flush or something like that. He's like, no, Honda, isn't that a straight flush? Hold on. He's like, yep, straight flush. Beats a pair of aces any day. And so, yep. And you see that Deke has the sniper abilities, or he's a great sniper. And I absolutely love the rapport of the team after. So then on the final test, they have to go to the plane graveyard, and they're like, okay, so here's what we got. No bus today, Hondo? They always give us a goddamn bus. Well, it seems that Fuller has a real hard-on for our team. So he's giving us the plane. We got hostages. We got to find, or we got hostages that wired the most of the exits and entrances. We got to be able to get in there. We got 6 hostiles, and you got to do it in under a certain amount of time. If we fail, we're done. This is what it comes down to. So let's plan it out. And so they're like, well, how do we get in through here? And he's like, no, there's another way in. You got a service elevator right here. No man can fit in there. No man. And they all look at Sanchez. And I love how that when they're in there, she's like, so how'd you know about this? I've known a few stewardesses. Just a few? I love, man, Michelle Rodriguez's acting in this scene was so freaking great because it's like, just a few? She just loves to rag on the guy. She needs to basically give her or show that she can rag with him, you know? But it's not anything like she has to prove anything. Well, not too much that she has to prove anything. It's not like that in this movie. And so they get in, they take care of business, and freaking Fuller's giving the evil eye at freaking Hondo and whatnot. But also one of the people shoot and miss the main guy or miss one of the team and hits the glass with the paintball guns right at freaking Fuller. And Fuller's like, Jesus. And it's like, dude, how the fuck are you even where you are in the police force if you can't handle getting shot at with a fucking paintball gun? Just it's like, oh my God. So then they managed to complete the course without incident for the most part because McCabe got tagged by paint in one shot, but that will come, which will come to play later on. He's like, oh wow, is that a new course record? And McCabe is just pissed off, or not McCabe, but Fuller is just freaking pissed, which is great. So then they have their celebration, and he's like, so glad that we're celebrating. Just so you know, that one person down might be acceptable by department standards, not by mine. If this was a real test, somebody would have to be going to McCabe's family today and telling them what went wrong, or explaining to them what went wrong. So have fun tonight. Tomorrow, we're SWAT. And then they sing the SWAT tune that is on the SWAT show. And Michelle Rodriguez and Street are still able to, get their drink on. Boxer's like, oh man, or everybody has to go home. Freaking Deke has to put his kids to bed. Boxer has to get home because he's like, I ain't getting any if I get, or I'm late, man. I ain't getting any. I can't. He's like, McCabe, sorry, honey. If I make it home before midnight, I'm finding some. And she's like, y'all suck. You know how hard it is to find a babysitter? Because she has a babysitter for her kid. So they end up going to one of the dives that Street knows. And he runs into Gamble. This is the first time that Gamble and Street have seen each other. And Gamble's fucking drunk, man. He's like, all right, he sees him, he points and he's like, how you doing? Lovely little hand signal, or lovely little hand gestures, basically showing that you're like a SWAT guy. He's like, how you doing, buddy? It's been a while. So, is this your girlfriend? No, man, she's SWAT. She what? Yeah, she's SWAT. What? So then frickin' Gamble just starts pulling the sexist bullshit, and she's like, what they need is to make a condom big enough to fit your, or large enough to fit your big head. And he's like, oh man, Callie and whatnot, all right. And so he sees the guy that Gamble's with, and he's like, this your girlfriend? No, but you could be my bitch. Really? That sets off the other guy. So he's like, he thinks about it, and then he just starts going, and he's like, no, man, leave it alone. And so Gamble says a couple of bullshit to Street. He's like, oh, good to see all that ass kissing is paid off. So then he takes off, and he looks at the picture of him and Street, grabs an ashtray and just busts the glass. Then looks over, gets his coat, and his friend's like, "You should have let me kick his ass. I just saved yours." So basically, even though he hates or even though he no longer has respect for Gamble or Street, he still will acknowledge that Street is not to be taken lightly. Now, this isn't going to be the end of, or the last we see of this character. And so then the Frenchman gets in, which they have him cast as Alex Montel, played by Olivier Martinez, which I believe sounds more Hispanic than French, but whatever. Anyway, maybe he's French-Hispanic. Who knows? That'd be a fun little mix. But anyway, he gets in. They stop him at customs and whatnot, and because he has a knife, and he's like, "For luck, look, gift from my father. Mail it home." Will do. Mail it home. Thank you, merci beaucoup. So he gets out. He goes to his uncle's restaurant, and his uncle is played by an Italian guy, Ken Divisian. Martin Gascon is the character that he played. And he's like, "What are you doing here?" And he's like, "Surprise." And so he's talking about, "I'm taking over the business." He's like, "No, don't you be joking about that. Your father owns the business." "No, I retired him." And so you can see that his uncle is getting very, very nervous in this point, because now there's new leadership in their business, which apparently is not so nice. And they're like, "Let me introduce you to Monica. She's a pretty girl." And he's like, "Do you like this knife?" "It's a pretty knife. She's a pretty girl." He's like, "Well," he's like, "What does your father say about this?" Father doesn't say much about anything. So then he slits his uncle's throat, killing him completely. And he's like, "Everybody else out. You had your hand in my father's pocket, not mine." And so he's like, "You take my money, I take your life. Understood?" And so then he hands it to his friend. "Mail it to me." So he then goes driving out with his uncle's car, seeing a few girls on top of a limousine looking down at him. He's like, "What?" Flashing his smile and whatnot. He gets stopped by a couple of cycle officers. And they're like, "This is a registration I'm a tourist visiting the U.S. And he's like, "Is there a problem? You got a taillight out." And then you see this Bridget the Midget girl, played by Bridget Parker, I believe her name is. Or Powers, who is a real person and whatnot. I believe she was also a real entertainer and whatnot. So she is talking about, or she sees the cops. She's like, "Hey, you're all pigs," and whatnot. She hates the freaking cops. And while this is all going on, there was a last bit with Street and Sanchez where she's like, "Just because you bought me a drink doesn't mean you get laid tonight. What about 2 drinks? Want to come over to my house?" That was easy. "Well, it's my daughter's birthday. So tomorrow, noon, there you go." And so that's a great setup for the next scene. Anyway, they have to detain the guy, Alex Montel, because he is, or they cannot verify his identity, but the one that, or his uncle, there's a warrant out for his arrest. So they arrest him, and the next day they got, you see Street playing with a bunch of kids with little super soaker-like things, and they're acting like SWAT teams, and they get all soaked up and whatnot from Michelle Rodriguez's kids and friends and whatnot. It's a beautiful scene. It's a nice little scene that establishes that Michelle Rodriguez has a kid, and that this is why she does what she does, her reason for being a cop, to keep her kids safe and whatnot. So then all the beepers go off because it shows all the other SWAT people. You got Deke at the store getting or shopping with his kids. You got TJ McCabe. He's at a restaurant with a woman. Ooh, French wine. Yeah. He's like, I may play in the mud, but I like to live up in the clouds. And you got Boxer at home just trying to watch trying to watch SWAT on TV. And it's so freaking hilarious. It's showing them off duty, But then the beepers start going off because they got a call or SWAT's been called in. And you see how all of them react. McCabe's kind of royally pissed off. He's like, I gotta go. You see Boxer get up. He's like, I gotta go. And Deke is like, come on, kids. Daddy has to go to work. And you see Michelle Rodriguez's character, Sanchez. She talks to her daughter. She in Spanish, letting her know that mommy has to go play cops and robbers. And then she says, I love you in Spanish or something like that. And last hugs, and then they get on. And so they arrive at the scene. Well, we got this old guy who's popping off birdshot at us, and probably off his meds and whatnot. He says, he's like, front door. Can't. He says it's wild full of explosives. It's like, you guys, really? Hey, it's the protocol, man. If they say it, we got to take the precautions. And I just love this whole freaking SWAT takedown. He's like, I got an idea. And you hear this guy shoot off another shot, and the freaking window goes down. I want a TRA and close cigarettes. It's like, what the fuck? This dude is just nuts, man. So, this is a scene with the robot aliens. So they're like, why don't we take out the back wall with this thing? He's like, okay. So they bring up, or while they're bringing up the punch through thing, you see one of them one of the dogs tries getting fresh with one of the SWAT team members. He's trying to get the damn dog off, and the owner's trying to pull that dog off. She ends up falling and shit. It's like, what the fuck? And so they're like, okay, ready? Boom! And the guy's like, it's the damn robot aliens. So they pull out the freaking wall and they go in. He has a freaking smile on his face. He's like, and so he gets down. He's in his underwear. He's like, you know what? I think you might actually be Polish. So they're talking about, he's like, man, you need to sell that shit on eBay. I only got the one. Split the profits 50-50, corner the market, break them down like a shotgun. I mean, it's just Polish penetrator. That's what they should call it. Damn thing, the Polish penetrator. That'd be the perfect name for it. I mean, these scenes are all great scenes, even though they're light and funny in a very serious movie about cops and SWAT teams. You still have that lightheartedness that keeps you engaged in the movie, gives you a few laughs, doesn't take you away from the movie. It keeps you fully engaged. So then they get called, and they're like, everybody's getting called back to the nest because it turns out that this Gabriel guy has been identified as an international Interpol terrorist watch list. He's been doing some very bad shit. So, I mean, hell, they even have a picture of him with long hair looking like he belongs in the Middle East doing terrorist shit, So then, they're like, we got to bring him into federal custody and yada yada. And while they're doing all that, they're getting all the assignments. So they go to pick him up, and as they're taking him out to the vehicles, this guy gets the yell out, I will give $100 million to anyone who gets me out of here. $100 million and whatnot. It's like, oh my God, you idiots actually let him say that. Not to mention all of these idiots in the media were freaking just giving everybody around the actual lowdown on who this guy is and pointing out that, yes, he is obscenely rich. And so you have all the freaking lowlives in LA saying, yo, I could use 100 mil and whatnot, and we could, yada, yada, yada. So it's like, holy shit, man. Now, the police didn't think anything of that because they honestly thought or everybody, he's probably just shooting off his mouth. But unfortunately, the news basically alerts everybody that this guy can't actually keep his word. So they're trying to get him out, and they have a problem. And there's a first attempt to get this guy, or to have this guy escaped, and SWAT catches up to him and takes care of business. And then there's the case where you have, so SWAT manages to get him back to the station. Is like, this dude's offer is putting all of us in danger. These guys or all of them are coming out of the woodwork to get him. So we're gonna have to plan accordingly to get this guy out of here. So they're like, we'll fly him out. All right, that way we're off the streets. They can't do shit. So you see McCabe is talking on the phone with somebody, and he's like, okay, sorry, I had to take care of something. Now, usually you'd probably think that is not anything to really focus on, right? Well, unfortunately, it is something it's a small little detail, very small, but important. He was talking to somebody, and you could just tell by the way he's behaving that something's not right. And so they get up there, and then you see somebody with a 50 cal pointing directly at the area where the chopper is, or at the helipad where they have the chopper, and the chopper gets there, ready to land, and then you see the guy pull the trigger. And if you pause in certain areas, you can tell that it is Jeremy Renner's character, Gamble. And he's shooting a 50 cal, which can actually, if you hit the right areas in a chopper, you can bring down that chopper. 50 cals BMGs are okay. Sorry about that, folks. It seems that I had a little bit of internet problem. Am I coming in clearly to anybody who might be listening? So please let me know if you guys can hear me clearly before I continue on. It seems I have a stable internet connection right now. But yeah, just let me know if you guys are hearing me clearly. And I'll check my other stuff while I'm at it. Oh, back to 708 subscribers. That's good. Seems to be back fine now. Thank you, Blake. Good to see you too, by the way. And so yes, basically, Gamble is shooting at the chopper, and he actually shoots it down because he hits right underneath the rotors for the propellers, and he then also hits the tail end, which is fuel area for the chopper. And yeah, so they have to get him out of there. You see the French idiot freaking smiling his ass off, realizing that his plan worked. And so they have to get him down, so they have to come up with another a fake convoy. You guys are going to just take him underneath the city and whatnot to get in a certain area, or to get close enough with after the convoy gets hit. So the convoy, or the okay, yeah, it seemed to have did a little bit of a hiccup here. Really don't need the shit right now. But yeah, so they take the convoy. They find out it's or they get busted because it's not exactly, the guy's not in there. So you then see that they're underneath, walking underneath everything. And McCabe is late again. He's like, sorry, man, those burritos really hit the hell out of me, and we're all good. So McCabe is driving the one with the French idiot. And he's like, okay, good. Sorry, folks, my internet seems to be cycling right now. Hey. But anyway, the scene where the tension starts to... Okay. Are you going to behave, you stupid internet? Are you going to behave? Because I would really appreciate it if you would behave. You're not behaving. Jesus Christ. I'll be right back, folks. You piece of shit, Robert. I'm going to beat the fuck out of you. Stop misbehaving, you dumbass piece of shit. Jeez, you have only one job. Fuck. Alrighty, I'm going to have to teach you to fuck up manners here. Yeah. Okay, way back. Blake. Are we back? Or come on. You're going to have to wait this out, folks. The signal's jumping up and down, cutting out completely at times. I'm sorry for that. Fucking internet. Okay, it seems that we're back on stable footing for now. So, yes, we're in the area where shit starts to go south, and I absolutely love the line in this one, which is actually a line I gave to Mara to see if she could guess it, and she actually guessed it right off. Like, fuck! But anyway, Mara knows my movies before I actually do them because I trust Mara with that. It's like, we throw ideas back and forth, what would be good hints and whatnot. So McCabe is driving around. Kamen Rider, good to see you. Choppy still, but can hear. Motherfuck, man. I feel bad for you, bro. Can't seem to catch a break. Yeah, I know, right? Go to sleep, fucking feeling like I'm getting a beat down from the COVID vaccine. Get up, finally have a little bit of manageable pain from painkillers. And now this shit starts to happen. Still choppy? Let me know when it clears up. But yeah, it's just fucking... Oh. But yeah. Altiori, goddammit. How dare you freaking do a video while I'm online? I'm joking. It's better now. Okay, thank you. Media. I should really turn it down. There we go. But anyway. Okay, good. So anyway, they pull out, and this is where basically McCabe pulls out after he lets Hondo know that there's a problem. We'll be right with you in a second. So, all right. So then he makes his move. He's like, McCabe, what are you doing? What does it look like I'm doing? I'm taking Frenchie up on his offer. And then everybody has their hands up, including Boxer. And then you see, or then when everybody's finally doing or listening, somebody shoots through the window at Boxer and clips him in the neck. And you see that it's Gamble. And he's like, what the hell was that, Gamble? He's like, he was reaching for his piece. He's like, no, I had everything under control. No, he was reaching for his piece. Friggin' Boxer was not reaching for his piece. So they're like, what's going on, guys? We can't see it. And he's like, or be right with you, boss. No problem. Officer down in street screams out that it's officer down and whatnot, and he gets clubbed. So then he's like, go ahead, man. Shout it out and whatnot. So now it becomes an escape and chase. And now that they hear it, they're like, flip a bitch, flipping the bitch. And they go looking for him. They find, or they have Gamble trying to hold the neck of Boxer, trying to keep him alive. And it's like, call medevac right now. Everybody, or make it priority and whatnot. It's a lot of freaking chaos. Mixing this shit was a bad idea. But anyway, so they have the chase and the scenes underneath and on the train and whatnot, and how they find out who it is. And then Fuller's like, what's going on? And he's back at the nest basically trying to figure out what the hell's going on. Why, and he's like, wait, former SWAT Gamble? When it's Gamble and McCabe finally get reported back, he's like, oh, shit. So now he thinks that SWAT, or that they're going to try flying him out of there. So SWAT is now basically suspect because, well, Street is on, or was his former partner, and one of their team just freaking betrayed him. And now they've lost all comms because they went down into sewers. And you can't really earn the freaking radio's gone. So they find a Claymore. They set up the Claymore. And they stop the Claymore. And it's like, dude, nasty shit. Or nasty stuff, Claymore. And so they get them out. Or bad guys get out. And I love this scene between Hondo and Street. He's like, Street, what about the Claymore? He's like, you sure you know what you're doing? Remember when I told you, or remember when you said or told me I was in the SEALs? Yeah. Or remember what I told you about not doing in the SEALs? Gotcha. He was basically EOD. He was an explosive expert and also good at defusing and whatnot. Hawkeye can't blame Loki this time. Very true. Now, they're chasing. They get out and they manage to get contact. And everybody's just like, we got everybody going, or all backup is going to the airport. He's like, I would have time. And so you guys just stand down for as much as I know, you're in on it and whatnot. So they're ordered to stand down and wait to be picked up. And it's like, fuck this shit. So you see SWAT have to basically commandeer a vehicle. So they get a freaking limousine. It's like, sorry, sir, we need to accommodate your vehicle, police business. I mean, so they're like, why would they go to an airport just to be stopped and whatnot? Or all the lights on the runway are still lit up and whatnot. Doesn't make any sense. So there's a private charter jet that went out that is now turned around and getting ready to land on a bridge. And Sanchez is like, did they just build or did they build an airport in the middle of downtown in the last couple days? I'm not sure, Sanchez, or I don't think so, Sanchez. Why? Because that plane is getting really low, and it's only getting lower. Shit, they're gonna land on that bridge. So the bridge landing and turnaround, this whole bridge scene was great, and they are. Sorry, I just noticed something really weird up top. But anyway, they managed to blow through the barricade and whatnot. And he's like, just keep coming. And they try blowing the barricade while they're there. And then they have to get the plane to stop to take off. They managed to keep the plane down, which is great. Or this whole action sequence was good. Now, the CGI for the plane wasn't that good in certain scenes. So that's why it is a 9 out of 10, objectively. Subjectively, I love this movie. It was 10 out of 10. And moviegoers, the same, 10 out of 10. It's absolutely entertaining. And it's got a great story and whatnot. So, basically, the movie comes down to Gamble versus Street. And he's like, or so when Gamble jumps off the bridge using the rich lady who was on the plane as a freaking stop for his rappelling cord, it's like, oh my God, man. And Sanchez also catches a bullet, but thank God it's catches her in the chest where her vest is. So they then are Street going down. He's like, sorry, ma'am, I have to go too. I have to follow him. So he uses her as the thing, and then he lets her go, and she's able to get treated and whatnot. And Street gets a knife straight through his hand. He's like, you're like a goddamn rat. Then he kicks his gun away, tosses it away, and they're going chasing each other. And then he manages to wrest the gun later on out from Gamble's hand, and he ejects the clip. And has the gun on. And he's like, and he picks up the clip. He's like, there's one still in the chamber, partner. And that drops a smile. But he's like, he ejects the round from the gun. He's like, so they decide to fight it out. And that's when the police choppers find them fighting it out. And then while it is off of them, you see, or Street kicks the leg out from Gamble, and he falls back just as the train goes over Gamble's head or neck. And it's like, oh shit, decapitation by train. I have seen that before in Highlander 2, but this one doesn't show it because I think this movie is PG-13. And but yes, this movie ends with them basically talking to their captain, Fuller. It's like they're basically all looking at Fuller because he put them under suspect, or he suspected them of not being on the up and up. It's like, oh fuck or they all looking at Fuller like he's a fucking asshole, and they don't like him anymore. It's like, dude, you freaking are the most incompetent piece of shit ever. And that's basically how they're looking at it. So then they get treated and whatnot, and they're in the main SWAT van, and they're getting carted. They're like, where can I drop you boys? Oh, home sounds good and whatnot. But then there's another call that SWAT has been called in and requested. And it's like, we've been off the clock for approximately a few hours. Like, so? Then he looks back at him, all right, what the hell? Click. Or, shriek. And then that ends the movie. Now, SWAT is a great movie. It shows how, or it does kind of give you a background into how police have daily lives, but also have to balance their work with their family. Also, it does show that there is somewhat of a corrupt element in the police force. And they also do show that, or it's just a great movie that does also give a lot of entertainment. There can be only one. Exactly. Blake. And this movie is truly one to watch. If you haven't seen it, I highly suggest you do. I mean, I'm pretty sure many people have seen it at this point. But yeah, I really did enjoy watching this one. Now, I believe, let me check my calendar here. Next week is the last week that I am down here, so I'm just checking while I'm at it. Yep, next week is the last week that I am down here. So I will be doing a mystery review next Wednesday morning. But yes, the scores 9 out of 10 objectively, 10-10, or 10 out of 10 and 10 out of 10 subjectively in moviegoer. So yes, next week I will be doing another mystery review. Now, what is a good one to think of? What is a good one to think of? I will give my hint shortly after I end the stream on Twitter. Once I think of the hint, I will give you a good hint. But I do have the movie in mind, so it's definitely one that I think you'll all enjoy. Anyway, folks, I am going to wrap it up here. Thank you for tuning in. Mara Jade, Blake St. Clair, Cayman Ryder, Price is Right, Gabe. Thank you all for tuning in, guys. I really like doing the Wednesday morning videos. I honestly didn't know if I was going to do this one or not because of all the pain I was feeling and whatnot from the COVID shot. But yeah, thankfully I was able to get some pain meds in me and it was able to level out, which they are starting to wear off. So yeah. Anyway, folks, I am going to wrap it up a little bit more right now. So thank you all for tuning in. Stay tuned for my hint. I think you all will love it. Anyway, folks, this has been Orange Hat Reviews. If you catch it on the replay, like, comment, subscribe, share, all that jazz. Let me know what you thought about SWAT down in the comment section below. Anyway, folks, this has been Orange Hat Reviews. Stay humble.